So here I've shown you examples of frame scripts and sprite scripts. You can also write scripts that are more global that will impact the entire project. You can do these by setting up cast members. Let's open up my cast window here on the bottom. And usually in the first spot of your cast file, you want to create something called a movie script. And here this Lingo syntax will create a global variable called gCurrentScore. And then the event handler is on stop movie. Set the gCurrentScore equal to 0. So in other words, when the movie is stopped and ends, go ahead and set the score back to 0. This will work throughout the movie. There's a compatriot to this event handler on start movie. So when the movie starts, oftentimes you want to initialize everything, maybe move sprites back in place, set the score to 0, get your movie ready for its initial running, so that you would just then type on start movie, gCurrentScore equals 0, end. And again, this is located here in the cast window in position number 1 because you'll often need to reference this script, and you'll have a bunch of methods, functions, and events here for setting up an initial movie or perhaps resetting a movie when you do the on stop movie event handler. Notice if I open up my script tab here in the property inspector, I have type here movie as well as behavior and parent. I covered those in a previous movie, the beginning of this section on Lingo scripting or scripting in Director 11. So what you do is you just set this type to Lingo. Notice the other option is JavaScript, and then set the type to movie, and then that will allow you to create a script that will be available at all times while your movie is playing. In this case, when the movie starts playing and when the movie stops playing, depending on the handlers that you put in that script. So that'll conclude this very short, brief introduction to scripting in Director 11. In this section, I've just introduced you to some very basic scripting concepts that are essential to understanding how to script in Director, including definitions of important terms, syntax rules, available data types, arrays, operators, and so on. Now, as you write scripts in Director, you'll no doubt feel the need for increasingly advanced information about how to write these scripts, so I definitely recommend that you check out the Director Scripting Essentials in the Help area first. That's going to be found in the Contents tab. Notice that there's 2 sections, Using Director and Director Scripting Reference. Inside of that Director Scripting Reference is also Introduction and then Director Scripting Essentials. I recommend that you start with Director Scripting Essentials, read through this section, and then go in order down the various categories here, which will serve as a review of what I've covered here in this section of the tutorial: types of scripts, terminology, syntax, data types, variables, operators, conditional constructs, and more, including quite a number of topics that I did not have time to cover in this short section. You can also review my complete dedicated VTC tutorial on learning Director Lingo. But let me now move on to the next section of this tutorial and introduce you to working with 3D objects in Director 11.